So hey, happy Friday. Josh Whitfield, founder of Signaliz. Just want to kind of walk you through what I think is a pretty significant advancement when it comes to AI, especially in relation to signals, APIs, Clay. So as you know, we've launched Signaliz. We're available now on the API, MCP, and CLI, and something's happened pretty recently that's really just dramatically changed what you can do with signals. And, fortunately, we were blessed and we were ready for it. And so I'm going to walk you through in Clay just this new revelation that's pretty exciting. So, first of all, I want you to see here what we've got is our company signal enrichment in here. And so, this is our APIs. And before I get into this, I just want to show, if you need to find us in Clay, you can just Google Signaliz Clay or go to Clay's site. Maybe that'll work. Let's try the opposite. Clay Signaliz. And there you go. So there's our integrations. And what we're going to talk about today is just enriching company buying signals, right? So here we are in Clay. You can add that API by going tools. You're going to see a lot of templates in mine because we're doing a lot, but it's going to look like this. It's going to be one of these here. And there it is, company signal enrichment. So you'll see that in your workspace if you search Clay. That's how you can add it. You do need to go to Signaliz and grab an API key. If you are a new user to Signaliz, you can just sign up and you'll be brought to the API docs, and you can come here to the API docs if you need them. And then if you're in the platform, you can go to the dashboard, you can go to settings, connect, and then you can grab an API key here. So a couple things to note here, just for reference, all of our API docs are here. You can integrate us in the MCP as well as other connections. So let me get back to the Clay table. So here's the innovation, right? A couple days ago, I think it was on Tuesday, Grok came out with a new model, and it's called XAI Grok 4.2 multi-agent. So let's Google it so I can tell you a little bit about it. So multi-agent is a real-time multi-agent that enables Grok to orchestrate multiple agents that work together in real time to perform deep multi-step research tasks. So each agent does its own thing, searching the web, analyzing data, synthesizing findings, and then it brings that data back together. So tying that back to Signaliz, we're a tool based off LLMs and the power of LLMs. And I think we were, we built this, we were thinking, God, this day would come, and it has. And so a little bit about Signaliz, it allows you to use any model in OpenRouter. And of course, this model is available in OpenRouter. And look, we've now got Gemma and a few other ones, but here it is, Grok multi-agent. If you read the description here, same thing, right? Collaborative based workflow. You can do low 14 agent up to 16 agents at a time, right? It's going to get pretty expensive, right? Notice the 2 million context window as well. That's pretty killer. So we are going to take this model and we can copy it here. You can also get it out of your Signaliz workspace. And we are going to put it in our model call here, right? Now, a couple things about this API. Why it's unique is because I think we built the only API I know of where you can come in and you can inject it with whatever you want. Company name, domain, definitely helps if you actually have the domain. And you can prompt your signals. So what you see here is I said, find recent signals that define why company name would want to use Signaliz, right? So don't go find funding and news and hiring and everything else. Just find signals that why they're a good fit. So I think if you think about that, you can understand why this approach works. You can enable online mode, which will enable EXA in the background to even make the search more accurate. And then you can choose a target signal count. Now, all of these others, they do not cost anything. They're there to enhance your output. And I recommend you use them because we have things like predictive features, etc., features for outbound, etc. But I ran it. I ran this model, and to be fair, it is not cheap. Look, it's I don't know, $1 for 102 credits for this run. Others are 95 cents. So we are not talking about a cheap approach here. But remember, this model is swarming agents to get the answer. The outputs are absolutely amazing, right? So let's come in and let's look at some of these signals. So signal one for this first company. In early 2026, they were named as government partner. They're highlighting a partnership that drove 71% business growth, et cetera. And you're wondering, like, are these signals real? Well, let's check. There you go. There's the signal, real signal. So let's keep going. Some of the more interesting ones here. And we have the signal type. We also have the signal source. So we have press release, company database, right? So let's click on this one. And we see so Traxon's March 26th update reported that they now have 29 employees, following a 3.4 million revenue achievement with a smaller size team, and on and on and on, right? So database type stuff, blogs, press releases, filings, hiring. This is the second signal here. Where did I see? Social. So this is one's really, really interesting, right? So this individual and other professionals joined their team in January 2026, right? And this highlights a need why they might need our tools, sales intelligence tools, right? And then you're wondering, like, how did it know that? Did it really know that? Well, let's click and see. Let's look. So it gave us a LinkedIn profile, scroll to this individual, and sure enough, joined the team in January 2026. And he's in GTM, which makes sense why I found the signal, right? So here's what I can tell you. My analysis is, of course, with Signaliz, you can get good signals, and I think you can continue to do that. And you don't have to use models that cost this much. So I want to prove that point, and let's just look at a different model here. And maybe let me grab the name to make it smoother. I think we have a V1 here, but let me just get it off Open Router. And so let's just say we'll look at one of the Google models. Let's see what we got for Google. This one's good. Flashlight, much cheaper, 25 cents per token, right? So in comparison, let's just see how good Signal is. We can substitute out the model here with this other model, and let's just see what kind of results we get, right? So now when I hit save and don't run, and then let's run these. Let's see what kind of signals we get, right? This is a real test. I'm floored, like, how much we can do with this. While we're loading this, I want to show you one other thing that I figured out with these models. And so yesterday I was running that concept of swarm of agents with Claude, right? And so I built a skill. I came into Claude and I said, build a skill that allows me to use a swarm of agents, like I just showed you. And what I learned from this actually a new model doesn't have tool use built in, so it actually didn't work. But then Claude made a crazy audible. It said, I can build a skill and I can just use your MCP and call Google Gemini Flash, like I just did, with 6 agents. And you think, there's no way it could do that, right? So let's look at what it did. So it used our MCP, and then it assigned the first API call to an agency services analyst, a technical innovation analyst, a thought leadership analyst, a ROI analyst. And it built a swarm of agents. And I asked it, to do it for me. And it built this detailed analysis of me. Kind of embarrassed to let you read it because it's highly accurate. But you can build swarms of agents just by calling our API and our custom AI enrichment. So I thought that was pretty crazy too. Let's go back to Clay real quick and let's look at this. So look at this. We're still getting ridiculously good signals here. Not as good as the other ones, right? But there's signals across the board for these same companies. But look at the cost difference here this time. So if we come in and we look at the breakdown of cost, 88 cents, right? Compared to $1. Right. So understanding how these models perform and what they can do, understanding is it worth spending $1 per signal is critical. But this is how versatile our tool is, right? You can build swarms of agents in Claude. You can call and get signals via API. And every time you're going to get source data. And that makes it reliable and ready to use for outbound. Appreciate your time.